Hey, Chris.
Hey, what's up?
Do you know what makes a good Sonic?
What?
Adding vanilla to the onion rings.
I was gonna say cherry and
Cherry limeades?
cherry and lime. Yeah.
Those are good too. Plus the nugget ice, it goes really well. But let's talk about Sonic the Hedgehog 3. Welcome to the Cinefanatics. My name's Robert Adams.
I'm Chris Adams.
And today we got a spoiler-free review for Sonic the Hedgehog 3.
Oh my gosh, this is our third one.
It's the third Sonic movie. Before we get into this, let us know your thoughts, feelings, and opinions down below in the comments while you're down there. Make sure you hit the like button and subscribe. So yeah, this is the third. I'm trying to think real quickly. Is there any other video game movie franchise that has made it to a third movie and
been good?
For the most part, all three movies have been good.
Spoiler alert on our opinion of this movie. No.
Has there been one that's made it to a third movie?
I don't know what people. Well, Resident Evil.
Oh yeah, Resident Evil.
Resident Evil and
technically kind of sort
Mortal
of
Kombat.
Mortal Kombat, even though that third one is not related at all to the previous two, and the second one just should not exist at all whatsoever.
Have they made 3 Street Fighter movies or only 2?
No, they've only made 2. And they're also not related.
There's been a ton of Pokemon movies, but those are all based on the anime and not actually the game, so they don't count.
Yeah. Anyways, so let's talk about Sonic the Hedgehog 3. Like I said, I feel like both of us, we liked this movie. It was a decent movie.
Yeah, so to kind of take a step back real quick, at this point, third movie in, we kind of have an idea of what we're getting into now with these Sonic movies. You know that these are fun for the whole family movies. You know that not every bit of dialogue or bit of humor in the movie is going to be for the more intellectual adult crowd. Some of them are going to be the poopy fart ha 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 laugh poopy fun poop fun jokes for the kids. Skibbity toilet and all that stuff.
What?
That's apparently something kids are into nowadays.
All right.
Anyway, the point is that it's for the whole family. So keep that in mind when seeing Sonic 3. You saw the first two. It's the same thing again. There's stuff there that doesn't cater to everybody. But knowing that, it's still a good time.
Yeah. You know what humor you're getting into. You know like what the storyline's likely going to be. Especially that here's where I will take a step back on this.
Okay.
And you're going to take over and
2
explain
steps
this.
back, 1 step forward.
Exactly. For me, as I've said before, like on reactions and probably other Sonic reviews, I grew up with like the original Sonic 1, 2, 3, Sonic and Knuckles, and that's roughly about as far as I went with the Sonic.
What you could play on Sega Genesis.
Yeah, I mean, that was my childhood, and then after that, I became an adult.
Yeah.
I graduated high school, joined the military, and stopped playing video games for a while. Sonic 3... with Shadow being the villain, is primarily from
out of your range. It is GameCube days. I can't remember. People in the comments might be able to chime in. This is where I kind of get lost a little bit. I can't remember if Shadow made his first appearance on the Dreamcast with Sonic Adventure. I think Sonic Adventure 1 was on the Dreamcast. But I know that I played around for a little bit with Sonic Adventure 2 Battle on the GameCube, and Shadow was a main character of that. So I feel like a lot of the storyline is coming from that particular title. So
yeah, so you were more familiar with this, like before we even saw this movie, you explained to me who Shadow is, who Maria is, like the dynamic that they had, and also what was going to happen with them in this movie. So, I mean, not really spoilers if you know the game, but if you don't, we're not really diving into that.
Shadow's whole motivation, the entire reason why he is the way he is.
Yeah. That being said, I like Keanu Reeves as Shadow. I think he did really good because Keanu Reeves, especially now if you're more familiar with him as John Wick, just being a badass, basically, you get that kind of gruff exterior that you're used to hearing in his voice, but he's also a lot more reserved in that he understands he's basically playing a cartoon character.
You're a colorful bunch.
Yeah. So it's got that kind of. It's almost more like his like Neo type voice.
Kind of. Neo was more like, oh, I'm stepping into a whole new world. This is crazy. Kind of wonderment to him. Whereas Shadow has been beaten, broken down, betrayed, just emotionally just drained. And Keanu Reeves does a very, very good job kind of getting that across in voice. And I think that's what you get when you hire someone like Keanu Reeves. He is a they call it a stalwart or something like that. He is a pillar of professionalism when it comes to knowing and understanding how to get inside the character's head.
Mm-hmm.
This isn't the first time he's done voice roles. He's done voice roles all over the place, but
Toy Story 4.
Toy Story 4 being one of them. Yeah,
Duke Kaboom.
Duke Kaboom. Yeah. This is one where I feel like he was really like, yeah, I really, really enjoy this character, and I'm really eager to try to get around his rough exterior a little bit.
I will say, for voice roles in this, I think everyone who's doing a voice of one of these anthropomorphic animals, they're doing a great job. Obviously, you got Ben Schwartz is doing a phenomenal job as Sonic. You got Colleen O'Shaughnessy, who is the original voice actress for Tails. So I like bringing her back to do that voice. Idris Elba is phenomenal as Knuckles.
I like to hope that Idris Elba is just having fun in the voice booth.
Like, again, growing up playing Sonic and Knuckles, I don't know what Knuckles' voice was, but the second I heard him in the last movie, I'm like, that's it. Yes. That voice.
It's not the voice that I would have pictured for Knuckles, but now 2 movies in, obviously there's a show that I haven't watched on streaming. I think it's on Paramount. This deep in, I like Knuckles. I made the comment to you also about Knuckles as the character. It's like, why is he and Drax literally the same character?
Yeah,
Drax
basically.
from Guardians of the Galaxy and Knuckles, the exact same character, same flavor, everything.
Real quick, you did just mention the show, which I haven't seen either. It doesn't feel like you really need to watch that show before you watch this movie. I feel like there is one moment in this movie that if you had watched the show, you'd be like, oh, okay. And there's one little thread, but it's not required viewing, in my opinion.
It comes across more as just like a fun gag in this movie, whereas it probably actually holds a deeper storyline in the show itself.
It's probably a lot funnier if you had seen the show too, because when they bring that call back, you're like, oh yeah, there it is.
You would have also seen it coming probably too. But
yeah.
Anyway, that's dancing around something. Yeah, as far as the team goes, we got their team dynamic really on the front in this movie, and the chemistry between all 3 characters obviously is pitch perfect.
So much fun.
It's just fun seeing, Sonic and Tails, and it's like we got that obviously last movie, but it is just fun to sit in the theater and just watch these 3 characters brought to life again. That's like the whole reason why I was like, I really want to go see Sonic. I just really want to see Sonic. This is the movie I've been looking forward to. It's goofy, it's dumb in places, but it's just a fun time.
For clarity, we had the option of either going to see Sonic or Mufasa. We chose Sonic, so
yeah, we'll have a Mufasa review maybe someday, probably
at some point,
maybe.
The other thing I want to talk about is one of the in my opinion, one of the most positive things about this movie compared to Sonic 2, and that is the lack of anything having to do with the human characters for the most part. Like, there's a little bit of the Donut Lord and his wife, but that's it. Like, there's no weird, like, human subplot that we need to be following with, like, her family and that crazy wedding from the second movie.
Not one that doesn't involve heavily, say, like, Shadow.
Yeah. Like, anything that does involve the humans in this movie also leans very heavily on the animal characters. So, in some form or fashion.
Yeah.
So, I love that, because the wedding in the Sonic 2 just completely killed the momentum of that movie. We're like, why do I care about her sister getting married? And it sets up that weird gun plot thing. And I'm like,
to some degree, there is a mood or moment killer in this movie as well. But at least as far as this one, it's played for laughs, and it's definitely geared more towards getting a bunch of laughs out of kids. And it's geared for those of us who just love Jim Carrey. Because there's a whole section where Jim Carrey is trying to connect with Grandpappy. And he's really it's going through like a whole montage. And you've seen clips and stuff online, parts and trailers and whatnot. And that whole thing is just really just kind of like, it does kind of halt the momentum just for this weird little goofy montage. But it's Jim Carrey being Jim Carrey.
With Jim Carrey. And they do some really fun stuff with those two characters. Some really fun stuff. Yeah, I think that was one of the more enjoyable parts of this movie, just watching. I want to say those two, but again, it's just Jim Carrey in a dual role.
Yeah,
him basically bouncing off of himself, and it just like some of the stuff that they say back and forth, the lines that they have, some of the weirdest, most out of the world, whatever lines, and you're like. Okay.
And then there's that whole dance sequence with lasers, and that's where I'm going to leave you. You get to watch it in the movie.
Yeah.
That was fun. I thought they were going to do a callback to, like, what was it, Ocean's 12 or whatever, the one character who did that whole, like, they halted that movie for him doing this weird break dance sequence through the lasers, which is honestly kind of my favorite part of Ocean's 12. But regardless, I thought they would kind of play into that a little bit. I thought it would be funny. They didn't, but they did it in their own way.
Yeah. So yeah, Jim Carrey is a delight. I'm trying to think of anything else really. The stuff with Shadow, everything in regards to like his background and everything that you were telling me about.
I think
from the video game.
I think they did a fantastic job translating it from game to screen. Obviously, there are some aspects of how it played out in the game that. For a game you can get away with, but for a family movie you really can't, and that's weird to say about a Sonic the Hedgehog property. But there's certain ways certain characters pass away at some point.
Well, so the difference is that in a video game you're looking at animated pixels and a storyline. This you're actually looking at people.
Yeah, the point being they can't play it out the same exact way. So if you've played the games, don't expect the same exact plot line to function the same exact way in the movie. But for what they did for the movie, it works. It really works because it reinforces a lot of the bigger picture of why Shadow is upset and who he's aiming his upsetness at.
Overall, I would say, even though, like, again, this is pulling from video games that are beyond my video game heyday, I still say there's a lot of good, like, little nods and winks, Easter eggs to those who are familiar with the video games. Plenty of them. There are two post-credit scenes. So there's like one is actually a mid-credits, and then there is one brief one after all the credits.
And the mid-credit scene.
The mid-credit scene is so good.
The mid-credit scene is great.
Yeah. But like almost everyone in our theater left before the final post-credits. We're like, okay, yeah, like y'all don't know this by now. Well, just stay.
Yeah, or at least pull up the internet and look up to see if there's another scene.
Yeah,
because that'll always tell you. The one major complaint I really have on this movie, and I think this leans more back into the you got to gear it for children, also you got to gear it for the whole family, is the pacing at times felt really off. To me, there was moments where there should be like an emotional beat taken, where you sit in the emotion of the scene for a minute. Something tragic just happened, or something really emotional for somebody just happened, and you would want to sit there and kind of take it in and understand, okay, so the character is going to be feeling like this in this situation right now. Usually a scene plays out a little bit longer to kind of feed into the knowledge of what the character might be going through. In this, it feels like these things happen, and then we're already off to saying the next thing or doing the next joke or going on to the next scene. And in a lot of cases, that might be a situation where you do want to speed along. But for some of these things, I really felt like they needed to sit on some moments a little bit longer at times.
What he's trying to say is the pacing for a movie about a really fast hedgehog needs to be slowed down just a little bit.
As odd as it is to say, that's exactly what I'm saying. There were moments where it could have used actually slowing down a little bit.
Let's pump the brakes on this. Let's throw on the old shoes that aren't like ultrasonic fast or whatever. So
Yeah. Otherwise, no real complaints other than that. I think the movie is pretty decent as a whole.
I can't make this a full-on complaint. It's just my viewpoint. Kind of like, again, what we were saying, this is very much geared towards kids, and because of that, there are jokes and stuff that they do in this movie. I'm like, okay, sure. Kids are going to love this. It may not be for me, but they didn't make this movie for the 43-year-old demographic here. I mean, I am not the target audience.
No, but
they made it for kids that I should have.
There's Easter eggs in there that are definitely not completely for you, but you can partake in.
There's the Easter eggs. There are a few like little wink, wink, nod, nod, adult type jokes that are generally present in all like kids, family friendly movies. Because we gotta throw in like some. Like you were saying, some fart and poop jokes or whatever.
Yep.
It references to genitalia, maybe. I don't know. Something like lighthearted and funny.
When did that happen in the movie?
Like, I can't remember, but very likely someone
it's a rhetorical question.
may have said something like about balls.
It was a rhetorical question.
So that's usually in these movies anyways. But yeah, that's it. That's probably my only really negative complaint on this. So
yeah.
Enjoyed the movie, had a lot of fun with it. Highly recommend it. Go see it. It's in the theater.
I would say that I would probably say this one is at least the second best, if not the best of the three. I would have to actually go back and watch the other two again because it has been a while since I saw the first two. Obviously, didn't do a rewatch before this one, but it definitely fits with the other two. It's not out of place in any way.
No, very much enjoyed it. So.
And I'm looking forward to Sonic 4.
Yeah. So it was announced today that they are going to be making a Sonic 4. So again, there's no other like video game movie franchise that I feel is this successful, has put out this quality of a product consistently across all these movies. That's making it to the fourth movie.
Yeah.
Like me personally, you were talking about Resident Evil. I made it to the second movie, and I thought the second movie was terrible. I was like, I'm not watching any more of these, and I haven't watched any of the Resident Evils since. So.
And I don't know how many people made it past the second one either. So
yeah, so I don't know how many they've actually made past the second one. I think they're like on 5, 6, 7. I don't know.
I stopped counting.
Yeah. Anyways, that's going to be our review for this movie. Highly recommend it. Go check it out. What did you think of it? Let us know down below in the comments. Also, while you're down there, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe. Make sure you come follow us on social media. We are at The Cinefanatics on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. You can follow me personally at RCA Reacts on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Blue Sky, Letterboxd, YouTube.com/@RCA Reacts, my bedroom, at work, in my car, bathroom usually at some point. I don't know.
They flicked off the video. Now they don't know where to find me.
Oh, yeah. You can find him places, too. Where can they find you at?
You can find me at Chris Adams MLP on Twitter, Instagram, and Letterboxd, as well as Blue Sky. Like I said in another video that we shot earlier today, I don't know how the Blue Sky handle works to be able to describe it on screen, but I'm on Blue Sky, too.
Yep. Anyways, that is going to be it for this video. Thank you for watching this. We will see you on the next one. Have a skibbity day.
No, we only needed to make one reference.
Oh, I can't make skibbity references?